Panel here seems to think it could be a quick 2-0. We'll see if that's going to be the case or not. We're about to hop into game number 2, so let's throw it over to our casters now. It's Capitalist and Blitz.
All of the panel heavily siding with Evil Geniuses for game number 2. Seems like Newbee.
A lot easier for them to execute.
So do you think mediocre kind of is the word that encapsulates that last pick? Not really the real game changer or big strategic win that you would like to see within the draft.
Yeah, and even more importantly than that, I think Newbee in a game like this, they're going to want to play as aggressive as possible with KP, but I don't know how easy his game's going to be, especially since there's so many different ways to just get on top of him. They have a lot of different ways to counter-initiate, and he is going to have a really good game if Newbee have any chance of winning this game. In the last game, he had quite a fast blink dagger, but we talked about the Slardar trap, where you get that early blink, and if you don't find consecutive fights, your item progression just kind of dies, and you don't really transition into a third core. Whereas in that last game, you saw Universe on that Bat Rider continue to farm while his teammates were farming. He always led the fights. He continued to get items in that game.
So if KP is our power player, the one who needs to be able to get the successful aggressive initiations and set Newbee up for success with this kind of lineup, who do we turn towards on the Evil Geniuses side? Who's going to be the player that sort of stops and mitigates that aggressive play by Newbee and keeps the Alchemist in its place?
I think like last game, PPD and Sumail are going to be very key. I think if Sumail has a game that's okay, like if he gets a Yule Scepter at an alright time, this should be okay for EG. I'm not sure if he's going to go for the Yules or the Hood. Oftentimes you see the Hood on the Timbersaw, and there's a lot of arguments to be made for that, especially with a Skywrath Mage and a Sand King on the other team, as I am just being found out right now.
The pounding of the Evil Geniuses fans hungry for Newbee blood as we begin our game number 2. The laning phase is going to be Sumail matched up against Moo's Alchemist, a classic for Newbee. Kaka had a brief appearance there in the mid lane, but will now transition his way up to top to try and enable KP. As we said, he's got to have a good game. It all starts with a decent laning phase. Bottom lane, we are going to see Evil Geniuses push aggressively against Newbee. Hao already taken a large amount of damage. They're going to fully commit, and there it is! Pound him down to the ground. At the same time, we do see Evil Geniuses. They lose PPD. The Shadow Demon goes down to the combination of the Skywrath Mage and the Sand King, but it's first blood claimed by the boys who bleed blue.
First blood, and the fact that it went on a core, unbelievable. They did not expect Zai to deal that much damage, and Zai now going to suicide to the Roshan. Very happy with what he's accomplished already. Might even start to rotate to top to zone out the Skywrath Mage in this lane, but his job's been done in this bottom lane as Universe is going to pick up a good amount of farm now.
Already having Tranquil Boots, life is going to be pretty easy for Zai now as he moves across the map, making appearance after appearance in these lanes, trying to have an impact. Still a question of how will top lane go for Newbee. Obviously, they've already gotten one kill on PPD. See if they can get even more against Fear's Morphling, try and shut him down.
Yeah, and Sumail in this mid lane just continues to farm very efficiently. This is what we expect out of the Timbersaw versus Alchemist matchup. Most matchups that Alchemist is going to be a part of are usually pretty bad for him just because he has no kill potential on the enemy mid laner, and even with the Alchemist Chemical Rage pop, not enough regen. As Sumail, that pure damage comes in handy right there, as does the stat steal from this Whirling Death. And this is the kind of game that you want out of your Timbersaw. He's going to have to snowball out of control, especially because he has to tank so much.
Try and go for the combination now. The Chronosphere leads out. If they get the right kind of bashes, Hal low enough, but he gets the Rage. Infest inside the creep. And I don't think Evil Geniuses have anything. Yep, it's going to be a pretty healthy creep. No opportunity for a deny. They're going to try and stick with it in hopes that the creep will get low enough that they can go for the deny play, but it's going to be a long-term commitment. Hao is going to pop himself out, knowing that he's got Rage off cooldown.
Oh, he gets the bash!
No, he gets bashed up by Universe. Now going to be chased down underneath the Tier 1 tower once again. No rotations by Newbee whatsoever, despite knowing everything that was going on. They leave Hao to his own devices, and the RNG plays against him.
Yeah, Hao gets antsy right there, tries to pop up, go for the TP, but underestimates Universe's ability to call on RNG. As he gets that skillful bash, he's getting quite a lot of farm here. As the one position from Newbee has not had a good time, and they're going to need him to create a lot of space. They were anticipating him getting a decent armlet timing, but just largely been shut out and moved. his armlet timing is also not going to be too great, as EG going to invade this mid lane. Fear making his way over. Does now have the replicate of the Alchemist, but just trying to buy time as Sumail, they want to take out this bottom tower. This would allow them to put a lot of pressure into this jungle without even getting a ward down. Hao's going to make his way down, and
are they going to try and
TP
TP in for this one?
now this has to be a free tower. Newbee instead are going to make their rotation on mid, and Hao is a little bit too far forward.
Feels like this is one of those plays that Newbee knows best. Now they're going to find the initiation. PPD in some serious trouble. Hao going to try and slow him down with the open wounds, but he knows there's a purge just waiting with his name written on it, PPD. He can counter Hao's movements. Now they're going to be able to find the counter. Chuan is going to be the target of choice. Almost bursted down. Can't quite get off the ultimate. The silence on Universe is laid out, but KP, he's got to get out of here. Pops the Sandstorm. Going to be stomped up. Burrow Strike up in 3 more seconds, but no escape to be had. The big offlaner of Newbee goes down. Hao comes in. Will be able to take out one, but now Universe control both. Sumail going to be able to get the entrance here. His Timber Chain is stopped, but the Chakram still on target.
Oh, Moose so
got to get the jump out. Hao! He will be able to make an escape, but still, Evil Geniuses take the best of that engagement, killing 3. They will be able to find one more. Sumail gets Hao, chased him down in the end. Sumail looking for a 5th all by himself. The rest of his allies have all run away. Sumail says, I can do this, and it can! Sumail times the whirling death perfectly and gets his move.
Unbelievable team fight from EG. For a second, it looked like they weren't going to have enough damage, but this Timber Saw just hunts everybody down relentlessly in EG.
That's
down and at bottom.
off.
Universe is pinging for it, but
is he going to be able to get there in time? He sees Smooth, and there it is. Holds Moo in place, canceling that TP with the Chronosphere. Then the 20,000 net worth Alchemist.
He wants more.
Sumail's going to find one more. It's going to be Kaka. Here comes the epicenter. Surprise! He jumps in. Sumail gets popped just like that. For a Skywrath Mage, that'll be worth it for Newbee. They're going to find Universe as well. Can't time walk that one off. Fear and the rest of Evil Geniuses now on retreat, but KP's going to pursue out. He's got a Blink Dagger. He knows Fear may jump over, so they're going to go Zai instead, slowing him down with the open wounds. PPD in turn will slow down Hao with the Purge. KP pushed back by PPD while Fear goes for Chuan. Chuan popping his ultimate defensively, but PPD and Sumail's right back in it. He's already popped Hao. He boots and traveled in and is now going to try and chase down KP. Newbee have overextended their welcome, and they lose 5.
and just like that, another 5-man team wipe. Back to back. Even without Sumail, who went down so early in that fight, they've got enough as the 2 supports from EG putting on an absolute clinic with their abilities.
Newbee just stumbled once and Evil Geniuses just keep shoving them backwards. Now Evil Geniuses look to be able to take Roshan, get the Aegis into their hands, and you may just call this an EG game favored now.
And the crowd was silent as Newbee, they took that mid game and they ran with it, but EG, consecutive back-to-back full team fights where they just wipe out 5. And now they look to be in such a strong position. Sumail continuing to scale. Now he's got the Aegis, level 19 already on him. And Morph now starting to find the farm. And it's these 2 supports from EG that have enabled almost all of this. PPD and Zai, not nearly talked about enough.
Newbee going to take a bit of a pause here to farm up, and I'm sure in part wait for their big item, that Octarine core that was picked off earlier on the courier. They still don't have that one for another 40 seconds. So
again, Fear takes out that mid tower. Newbee, even with 2 cores there, unable to deny it. And I think right now Newbee is reeling. They did not expect to lose back-to-back fights, especially with the Radiance, with how farmed both of their cores were in comparison to this Morphling who had almost nothing. But it has all been EG in the past.
Sumail's got to make his escape on life number 2. Blink to the right-hand side. Timber chains away, but it's no chance. The kid goes down. And Newbee, they strike back hard in the second game.
EG getting way too overconfident there as the first epicenter we've seen in quite some time hits its mark as Newbee strike back with this 6-slotted Alchemist leading the way.
That. They set this all up by going onto Sumail, forcing Evil Geniuses to come
3-man burrow strike.
And that sets KP up for the most beautiful epicenter and 3-man burrow strike.
EG, They still have this Chronosphere available. Newbee, they've got to be careful for this, but with Moo being as farmed as he is, I don't think they're too worried. They can just continue to send him forward. EG don't have the best way to burst him down, especially with the Alchemist. 2,000 HP, he's got the Oracle waiting behind him, the counter initiation from the Sand King. Now EG have something to worry about. A lost team fight for them is going to set them back much further than they'd like. They do have this Nth Blade now completed on the Moor. They're going to go for the smoke out, and they want to catch Newbee unawares. That's been what's working out for them so far. Forcing KP to just run back and chasing him down.
Well, they're rapidly getting close enough to a free pickoff here. Let's see if they go down or try and cut over to the tier 2, or even better, they actually have a ward down. Now, they pick off on Chuan. Oh, Chuan actually blinks himself forward, stays ahead of Sumail. Luck or quick reactions, not sure which, but I think he's going to go down anyway. Maybe he buys himself enough time for the rest of his team to come in. Newbee actually going to think about fighting this one. Start backing away once again. Chuan buys himself some time with that Glimmer Cape. Sandstorm with Hao inside. Now they're actually here. Trying to commit with now the Moose here, but the Chronosphere in the back. The perfect Chrono! He is outside of that Chronosphere. All of a sudden he sees that Hao is inside of that Sand King, starts getting some free right clicks. Fear in some trouble. Bounces over to his replicate though. Meanwhile, the left doing so much damage. Actually going to be taken out by Moo. Oh, Chuan executed by Sumail. Evil Geniuses. They will walk away from that one. He jumps forward. He's going to be able to find his Burrow Strike. They're going to try and pop Sumail almost instantly. Managed to get off the Chrono. Now the Chronosphere comes out. They're going to try and catch Hal. Looks like Kaka's definitely down, but here comes the Burrow Strike Epicenter combination on the side. Sumail, he's surviving through it, but not good enough. He ends up going down off the Invest Bomb. Oh my god, how? He barely survives through that one. Has the armlet toggle. Can he stay alive against Fear? Not good enough. The damage of Fear will persevere, but now Moo, he's going to be the one manning on against Fear. KP trying to escape with a Burrow Strike. They're getting kind of around Moo. They're just ignoring him as best as possible and dealing with the other Newbee members, but eventually one of them's got to go down. It looks like it's going to be PPP still inside of the Radiance Burn. Here comes KP back in with a Burrow Strike. Stuns upside, but Moo dropping lower and lower. He no longer has the Chemical Rage in about 5 more seconds. He may end up going down. Zai, a little bit more damage from the Radiance Burn. He does manage to get himself away for the time being. KP, long jump forward with Burrow Strike. Can't hit him. He's going to be dusted.
Hunting who at this point?
He thinks he can do this one. He's got no HP whatsoever. He's chasing KP away, and now Fear can come in. Blink over to the side, manage to juke out Fear. Jump forward with the Shivas. Can't quite get him. Oh, no! The Timber Chain on point to hit the hero, but no trees.
You see the priority in both team fights as both sides just trying to eliminate the supports and the disables, as EG just beeline for that Sand King in every engagement. And without him available, you see that Moo, he just can't get his damage out, even with his prodigious net worth.
That Yule Scepter.
Yeah, right now Moo trying to connect, but...
Oh, Jesus. Now the Chronosphere is going to be on 3, but Sumail's already damaged. They may not have the damage. The Elder Titan ult's going to come through. How gets popped? Ethereal Blade and the Elder Titan ultimate just eliminates him in a 1-2 punch. And now they're going to try and catch KP as well. Skywrath Mage hiding with the Glimmer Cape. Will manage to get the silence off onto Fear. Moo is going to come in, though, with his illusions, burning away on some of Evil Geniuses, but not fully committing. They may have struck first by killing Sumail's Timber Saw, but it's Universe's Chronosphere that ends that argument.
And I think EG are perfectly satisfied with that. Every single time you kill Sumail, you have to blow so many abilities.
BPD, he's found the disruption onto the big
can't
area
afford to die here.
But the epicenter is going to be the response. He managed to catch 2 with the Burrow Strike. Universe looking for the time. What? Can't get out. Moo battling up against Zai, but the damage from Fear is threatening his life. He's got to let that regen come into play and kite Fear around as best as possible.
Zai trying to play around this rush hit.
KP trying to juke out the Burrow Strike. He knows it's coming. Did he just do it?
Oh,
it's in the shot. Zai, he throws out the stomp. KP, he force taps himself away, blinks back in, goes for the right click.
Unbelievable.
Jukes him out beautifully by Zai. Keeps himself alive, and back home to the fountain he goes.
I mean, look at the range on the Burrow Strike that KP has to work with. Newbee, they want to take this fight on the heels of their Aegis. They're just going to run into each other.
He finds the initiation. He's going to be the first one to strike with that BKB. Moo looking for it, but now he gets Chronosphere stopped and held in. In the background, there goes Chuan. Fear's going to
KP gets his enemy stopped.
While they manage to get the combination, KP can't do anything. He only gets a Burrow Strike now into Sumail. The silence is there. Jump over, chasing down.
Who's the real target?
Him as well. They turn back on the left-hand side towards Hao. On his second life on that Aegis. Evil Geniuses may not be able to catch up with them, but they still won clearly the MVP of that last fight. followed up by that nice Chronosphere by Universe. Let's see if they can do it again, though. This time, being the ones on the offensive route, Fear, man fighting up against How, is losing this one, though. The disruption goes down, buying him a second or two, and he's Morth, fully up to strength as well. Starts going for the tier 2, and will jump away to his replicate just ahead of the Burrow Strike.
EG full retreat mode. Once again,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
they take this mid tier 2 tower, so they're not desperate quite yet. EG, on the other hand, don't have any in inventory.
Initiation is the name of the game right now. Newbee are looking
Making their way up.
to smoke. They may be able to find one. Not a terribly great target. In fact, this doubled into the Chronosphere. Universe with the
follow-up
quick
damage.
response. Now the other Titan ultimate. Oh my God, the combination. It just wipes out KP and brings How down as well. Now Fear jumps forward. He's going to go straight and force out the ultimate from Twan.
Oh, they managed to get Moo as
They'll
well.
eventually turn towards Moo as a full 4-man crew and beat on the big carry of Newbee. They take him down eventually with Fear entering into beyond godlike mode.
Universe with the counter initiation, finding the Sand King, who had to commit that stun but wasn't able to get out in time. And now EG have all the damage in the world to work with as Universe starts the hunt.
PPD playing the role of a petite little bait. Newbee, they take it full force. They jump in, grab PPD, and immediately realize that it was all a trap set up by Universe's Chronosphere. Now here comes the buybacks. Newbee, they're going to attempt to hold as best they can without the rest of their heroes, but surely there's going to have to be another buyback from someone here.
Yep. And EG right now showing why Elder Titan is such a force in this late game. His natural order is enabling everyone from EG to deal so much damage for free.
And being the aggressors, but they're just not going to find anything, it seems. Evil Geniuses are dancing back. Hold that phone. It's he's
not
actually
even close.
going to be the target. Burrow striked up. He's going to be immediately jumped on by How. The Force Staff's buying a little bit of space. Instead, it's going to be Universe who goes down. He came in, immediately silenced up by Kaka. Couldn't get off the purge in time, and now Kaka, he gives up his life, it seems. Maybe not. Oh, there's the stun. Can't get back home. Juan tries to save his fellow support, but it all comes in vain. Still, though, the buyback from Universe, Newbee are so happy with that pickoff and the resulting retreat. They did not lose anything too critical.
Yeah, they just buy themselves some more time.
These two teams will start making their way towards each other. Already the scan has gone out. They know some heroes are here. They're going to try to find the initiation, but Universe's invids, they're not going to see him. KP can't get the stun, and Universe gets the Chronosphere. The follow-up from Evil Geniuses. KP throws out the epicenter, but gets Yule's stuff. Ineffective. Now they start going for the side. He will go down, but Moo down for 2 minutes. He needs to be able to come back in this game, but Pow, he can't make it out against Universe and Fear. Buyback's going to have to start coming out from Newbee as they're going to be forced back to their base. Evil Geniuses, they start swarming in. They know they found Newbee in a moment of weakness. If they can just take out one hero that doesn't have buyback without trading anything else, this game may be theirs.
Yeah, Newbee right now, they're being pressed back as they're going to have to commit the buybacks. There is no Chronosphere available on EG, so they might even just reset this and go for the Aegis of their own. But Moo looking for an initiation. He's got to be careful. He's just going to stun out.
EG, a bit of trepidation as they start moving forward. Samael, he gets caught by the trap. The buyback comes out from KP, and they do catch Samael, but that is still a great position. See that fight? This is the fight that pretty much determines the tempo of the full late game for at least another 10 minutes. That Chronosphere perfectly well placed, and Moo, the combination of that Elder Titan ultimate, which you said time and time again, so powerful in the late game, and then Fear's burst damage with the Ethereal Blade shotgun combination just overwhelms Moo's high amount of HP.
And during that time as well, EG pick up that mid-rax. Not the one that they want, but PPD manages to grab the range one just on the strength of the illusions that he keeps sending in.
They're going to find the initiation. But the Chronosphere comes first. Burrow Strike not fast enough. And KP, here comes the Wombo combo. Already KP's down. Juan about to fall as well. Universe forces out that ultimate. Now turns his attention towards How. Zai going to be saved by the disruption. Universe forced to time walk himself away. Samael right in the middle of all this, but How inevitably will go down. And Evil Genius is about to force yet another buyback from Newbee.
They've been so patient, this entire team. And now EG, they're going to start making their way bottom. They're going to force another buyback out. This time around, though, KP doesn't have it available. Newbee can't afford to lose any of their cores now. Either of them
4
having
versus-
buybacks.
4 versus 5 with no buybacks whatsoever. Newbee, a miracle defense needed here. And they're just going to be chipped away one by one. The illusions start coming in,
How gets
eating
hexed up.
away at the melee racks. How? There's always the save of the Oracle, ready to go. Evil Geniuses, Bloodthorn out onto Universe. Universe is now out of Diffuser Blade charges. The melee racks inevitably goes down. They also have to deal with top lane where Fear is heading over.
Might just go
That
down for
might
this.
just be able to get him. They got him. They burst it down Fear. Now they have to rotate back to bottom where Evil Geniuses are threatening the racks. But another Bloodthorn, and this time around, no Diffuser Blade charges for the save. Can't time lock that one off inside. He'll be cleaned up as well. Samael completes his TP. Now, it may just be Newbee's turn to force out some buybacks from Evil Geniuses, but first, they have to deal with the waves.
Yeah, Fear's decision to go for this top push a little bit too greedy, as he does manage to eventually take down the tower with the help of the creeps, but unfortunately they weren't able to get this bottom racks. Newbee though in a position where maybe EG can just go for it again, as they all have buybacks available. Newbee in a position, if they lose a core at any point in the next 5 minutes, would almost just lose the game, especially this lifestealer. And EG, they just want to wait out their buybacks if they can. That would be a huge advantage for them, as now a refresher orb is completed. This is truly the late game.
I'm not sure if I've ever seen a refresher on Orb.
know
That's
it's
how
hard.
late game we are.
All right, here we go. Another Roche, but this time, where does the Aegis go? How can probably just drop his SNY.
Not that big of an item, as actually going to drop his Demon Edge instead.
And they just abandoned the cheese. They've got a second one already.
Chuan needs it. He's got the refresher. He needs the extra mana.
Yeah, and this mid wave has to be dealt with. As KP pushing in this top wave, probably has to boost to travel back, or at least Mu has to shove in this wave, but now it's Newbee.
25 seconds left. They're going to try and go high ground, it seems, before Fear is back up naturally. Force him into that awkward decision of buying back with only a few seconds left or losing an objective potentially. So Mail, he's going to be on the front lines here with that chakram. I think with the glyph down, no, Newbee aren't going to back up. They're going to continue to go for it. See if they can force Evil Geniuses into some sort of area here. But now Fear is about to be back up, and Universe waiting on the side for the Chronosphere.
And Mu's going to get hexed up, but swift retreat as EG, again, weren't forced to use the buybacks. And although Newbee have the Aegis and cheese, looks like
Aegis and Cheese not nearly as powerful as the buybacks that Evil Geniuses are holding on to. So clearly still an advantages. And Hal will finally be graced with that extra ability, Assimilate. Now the smoke, Evil Geniuses, they've already popped it. They're going to start coming in. They managed to get the Scythe device onto Hal, but he has the Aegis, so they start ignoring him, realizing that's not the initiation that they want. And a battle of illusions commence. Disruption onto the Alchemist Illusions now. Jump forward, Chronosphere is out. Fear and Samael, a little bit delayed in getting there, but the Elder Titan ultimate is also going to be over the top. Managed to double save though as Chuan gets off both ultimates down, but still the Scythe device is controlling up Mu. Jump inside, Infest up. Hal's going to pop back out. He's low HP, but immediately jumps on his side. Side with the Eul Scepter self-save, and Samael executes Mu. They take out Hal as well.
They've got it all in to save this lifestealer. He can't afford to die.
Needs to be able to save Hal. Hal is already going to be stomped up, down to half HP. Scotty kind of can't get his claws on anybody, can't invest inside
This is their last
anything
hope.
either. Hal will fall. Samael takes him out, and Mu. He thought he could save the lifestealer, but not a chance. KP comes back in. A last-minute response with the epicenter, but it's not enough. He will fall as well as EG still look healthy as all hell, and that is it. Newbee College and Evil Geniuses. They move on 2-0ing Newbee in the upper bracket.
a tug of war that eventually EG comes out on top of.
And Newbee, they will start their run through the lower bracket. Dangerous position to be in.
Unbelievable game by both teams. Every single time you thought one team had a significant advantage, the other team just managed to wipe right back.
The crowd very clearly backing Evil Geniuses here.